Good day, everyone. My name is Marian C. Baclaukos from BPED 2B, and I am here to discuss to you about the assigned topic that was given to me, which is how scientists learn about past climate. But before we proceed, let me share to you some facts about our planet Earth. So Earth, it is our home planet, is a world unlike any other. It is the third planet from the sun. So it is the only one to host life, of course, because it has land na pwede naton matamnan, and it is also water to provide our needs. And so here it is. How scientists learn about past climate. So of course, may dito mga material nga mga ginggagamit han mga scientists to be able to know han aton mga past climates kay dira tira nagtitigo-tigo la. Dira tira nagtitigo kung anon una ba nga mga climate. May tira mga bases, may tira materials nga proven and tested by era ito gini-studyhan. So, and of course, may dito mga professions, may dito mga expert hito di na field. Kay diri man la iton ka dali-dali lang nga pag-study about aton earth, about particularly about aton climate hanon nga panahon. So, may da kita sinising na paleoclimatologist o nag-study about aton ancient climates. So, paleoclimatologists study several different types of environmental evidence to understand what Earth's past climate was like and why. So, paleoclimatologists amo ini ang mga tao nga nag-study about aton ancient climate kung ano talaga ang climate natin una. If it was dry, it is polar, or it is temperate la. So, mababato nitohan mga paleoclimatologist. And of course, dito nagbibiling mga materials outside the planet Earth. It is inside laha aton Earth. And may dito mga materials sa rin ko pa kanina naging gagamit hit mga paleoclimatologist para masabtan kung ano talaga ang aton past climate. So, what materials serve as recorders of paleoclimatologists to learn about past climate? Paleoclimatologists look for clues in Earth natural environment records. Dili tira nagawa sa ibang mga nasod o ibang mga planeta, kundi ha mismo lang aton nga Earth. So, through ice cores, nasasabtan gihapon han mga paleoclimatologist kung ano talaga an aton past climates. Why ice cores? But wala kita ice core din sa Pilipinas, of course, kay we don't have glaciers. We need to go to Arctic or Antarctica or some of the mountainous nga mga glaciers na mga mountainous nga maag-an lang adto mga polar regions like Greenland, Canadian country nga ato gud talaga an may mahagkot nga klima tapos an may mga dagko na mga mountains. So, ice cores. And next is sediment cores. Sediment cores amon hiya ang mga lagay ha mga lake. So kung gusto mo pa mag-discover, kung gusto mo kabilingin mga very long record about natin mga past climates, pwede kayo mag-study, pwede ka kumadto ha mga deep sea environment nga makaka-provide ha imuhan mga records that go back to several million years ago. So hira talaga ang makakahatag imo kun makakatagay mo deep information about han aton mga past climate since madugay na gud man in hira makadto ka mag-study ka pa about hiton kung gusto mo hin very long records ha mga deep sea. So foraminifera. So ini mga foraminifera amo mga gudti nga mga organism nga nabuhin una. And may the two types of foraminifera, so planktonic and benthic. So ang mga planktonic amuhiran mga nakaukoy ha water column pag namatay hira nahuhulog hira nga ilarom hit dagat. And benthic liwat adto na mismiran sea floor. Pag namatay hira magiging will part of the sediment record na hira. Yan pwede gap maging sediment record na nga hira amunit dilat pag stadya ira. And it katawan hit it body hit foraminifera kay made of calcium. Tas hito na calcium, ito na oxygen part dida magtetelhaay mo a lot of things of how climate used to be han mga unang nga panahon. Grabe, imagine how amazing nga mga sugad hito na discover iton mga scientists sa mga paleoclimatologists nga pwede nga ito magamit nga masasabtan ngayon ito nga mga small things lang masasabtan nga ito dida nga mga hit aton past climate. So masasabtan gap an past climate naton through 3 rings. So why 3 rings? So makikita naton an aton annual layers nga dahil pwede naton balikon ha mga annual layers kung ano ang pagbabaguhan klima katulad kung damo baan kung hanuna makusog ban uran, kung dry, kay ito nga mga layers like brown, ito na mga iba-ibang nga colors, dida ito nira gini-studyhan mga paleoclimatologist kung mabase ha kay na-base ha color and everything. Masasabtan nira iton. Sobrang galing. And of course, skeletons of corals. So, corals gihapon kay madugay na talaga hira nga nakaukoy nga di haaton world mga waray pada kita aada na hira. So agit ira ka madugay ginagamit ira het mga scientists at mga paleoclimatologists para masabtan kung ano ang aton mga past climate. And so, may daghap mga other sources of information. Like for example, ito nga imo mga nakikit-an nga mga bato ha mga dalampasigan, pwede gap ito nira pag-adman. Tas pwede nira pag-adman ngan makakasumat ito haira ngan makakasumat ito haira kung ira admanan past level of the ocean or even the past climate han kalibutan han aton earth. So pwede gihapon naton kitaon ang mga hugisan dagat or anyuhan dagat para makita naton ang mga previous stand han sea level or even the past climate han earth. We can also check other coastal geomorphic features about our past climate condition and sea level conditions.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Sergio Samar from BPED2B, and so today I'm going to discuss to you and how did the scientists learn about the present climate. But before we proceed to the main topic, let us know first what is climate change. So according to my research, climate change is a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. So these changes have a broad range of observed effects that are synonymous with the term. So everything that's actually happening right now in our world is what we call present climate change. We are actually losing natural spaces, high temperatures, lack of precipitation, and desertification are depriving areas of rain. So this means that the river levels in these areas are falling, causing lakes, ponds, and wells to dry up and even disappear in some places. That's why we have to be careful in everything that we do here in our world, in our society, or even in our community. Because by just simply putting our trashes in a proper waste disposal, we can help our mother nature to lessen this what we so-called climate change. So let us now focus on the climate and on the present climate. So climate is the average of weather conditions over several decades. Geoscientists monitor modern climate conditions in part by taking direct direct measurements of weather data. Air temperature, rainfall and snowfall, wind speed, cloudiness, and so on are averaging those over at least 30-year period. So why is it that scientists study the present climate? Because scientists have studied present climate changes to understand that the factors that can cause the planet to warm or cool, the big ones are change in solar energy, ocean circulation, volcanic activity, and the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and they have each played a role at times. So through analysis of many independent types of data, comparisons with past climate records and present climate, so computer model simulations and geoscientists have concluded that the climate is currently changing toward warmer conditions globally, with different regions changing at different rates. So we have 10 indicators of a warming world in this present climate. Just take a look in the picture. There are just some of the indicators measured globally over many decades that show that the Earth's climate is warming. White arrows indicates increasing trends, while the black arrows indicate decreasing trends, and all of these indicators expected to increase in a warming world are. In fact, increasing in all those expected to decrease in a warming world are decreasing. In a warming world based upon simple physical principles, we would expect some indicators to increase: land surface air temperature, sea surface temperature, marine air temperature, sea level, tropospheric temperature, ocean heat content, and specific humidity. So those are the indicators that we are actually facing right now. And we would expect that in the following years, it would be more worse because we can experience temperatures that are rising, snow and rainfall patterns are shifting, and more extreme climate events like heavy rainstorms and record high temperatures are becoming more common. Many of these observed climate changes are linked to rising levels of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, caused by human activities. There are many changes that can bring about in our life, both big and small, to prevent global warming and save our planet. Firstly, we must stop deforestation in all forms. Do not cut down more trees, as it will only worsen the level of carbon dioxide in the air. Instead, encourage people to plant even more trees to create a fine balanced nature. That's why we as individuals, we should know our steps and be knowledgeable enough in learning how to help our community or even our society to reduce or lessen this climate change. Because our nature can live without us, but we individual can't live without nature. So that's all for my part. So I hope that you've learned something about my lesson.
Good day, everyone. I am Sherwin Alfaro from BPED2B. The topic that has been assigned to us is all about how scientists learn about past, present, and future climate. Since Mr. Samaro and Ms. Baclacos already discussed to you about the past and present climate, we will now move to future climate. Okay, so let's start. How scientists learn about future climate. To predict future climate, scientists use computer programs called climate models to understand how our planet is changing. For example, yan na, di ba, summer. So, usually, pag summer, mapaso. So, weather is mapaso. So, with the help of this climate model, mapapredict it mga scientists nga maybe next year or next year, mas doble pa makapasoy aton may experience. Like, for example, yan na, mapaso. Bangin next year, mas mapaso pa or like super mapaso pa may experience naton nga weather. What is a climate model? Scientists use climate models to understand complex Earth systems. These models allow them to test hypotheses and draw conclusions on past and future climate systems. Yes, just like what I've said earlier, magiging maaram kita kung ano ba may hinabo in the future about climate. Like for example, next year magkakaadahin makusog nga bagyo. With the help of this climate model, mababaro kita kung diin matama it bagyo or specific place nga malandfall. And kung ano kakusog ngan kalaksit iya gios. For example, when predicting tropical cyclones, during hurricane season. Scientists can use climate models to predict the number of tropical storms that may form off the coast and in what regions they are likely to make landfall. Why are climate models important? Understanding past, present, and future climate help us to understand how Earth systems naturally function. These predictions and results can also suggest how to mitigate the worst effects of climate change, and they help decision makers to prioritize environmental issues based on scientific evidence. How do we know that climate models are accurate? Since the world can't afford to wait decades to measure the accuracy of climate models' predictions, scientists test a model accuracy using past events. If the model accurately predicts past events that we know happened, then it should be pretty good at predicting the future too. And the more we learn about past and present conditions, the more accurate these models become. How is a climate model used? Climate models work like a laboratory in a computer. They allow scientists to study how different factors interact to influence regions' climate.